Hello BookTube. Today for Tag Tuesday, I will be doing the 20 Bookish Questions tag. This tag was created or compiled by The Active Mind, and I saw it on Steve Donahue's channel. So I'll leave links to both channels in the show notes down below. How many books is too many books in a series? I think the answer to this question depends on what kind of series it is. Some series tell a single story that should probably wrap up in as many volumes as needed to tell that story. And some series, are more episodic, and so each entry in that series is its own story, so those can go on for a long time. But I think the ideal number of books for a series should be how long to tell the story, or until the premise of the story starts to break down, or the author just gets tired of it. How do you feel about cliffhangers? I like them quite a bit. Hardcover or paperback? I tend to prefer paperback. If I break my library down into sections, the manga section is almost exclusively paperback, except for the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure volumes. Those are special edition hardcovers that are the only JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that are available in the US, or in English translation as far as I know of. For the most part, my classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama section is populated by paperbacks. There are a few hardcovers, but there I prefer paperbacks as well. The only part of my library where I have a tendency to prefer hardcovers is my history shelves, where I have a tendency to want to buy the books as they release rather than wait for the paperback release, which can sometimes take significantly longer compared to, say, fiction or poetry, if the poetry is released in hardcover. Favorite book? I'm not going to go with a book, I'm going to go with a series. Fairy Tale by Hiro Mashima. Fairy Tale is a long running manga series about a wizarding guild called Fairy Tale. The main character is a fire dragon slayer named Natsu, and other main characters are Lucy Heartfilia and Natsu's exceed companion Happy. I have loved Fairy Tale for a long time, and I'm really looking forward to a reread this coming January. Favorite author? Hiro Mashima, who, in addition to Fairy Tale, has also created Rave Master, Eden Zero, and Dead Rock. And I've heard he is in the process of working on a new weekly series, so I'm really looking forward to that because he is awesome. Ideal book length. As long as needed to tell the story or make the argument, depending if this is fiction or nonfiction. It's as long enough to tell the story without too much baggage. Most recent book you just couldn't finish. Well, that would be technically Perfection by Vincenzo Latronico, translated from the Italian by Sophie Hughes. It's a novel about a couple who basically work gig jobs online, and I guess it's just them going about their lives. I lasted about 2 chapters, which were basically just descriptions of their apartment in Berlin. The first one being the staged description, and then the second one is the more lived in description. And as I was reading those 2 chapters, I'm like, what the heck am I reading? So I decided to put it aside. Although we could begin to make a case for Inventing the Renaissance by Ada Palmer. I'm currently in the process of giving it a bit of redemption. I had a go at this book a few months ago and didn't quite get on with it. I think I bailed within the first chapter or the introduction, which was also the first chapter. I've since picked it back up, and I've gotten past where I bailed the first time. But if I'm honest, almost 90 pages in, I'm still not loving it. So I don't know if I'm going to persevere or not. We shall see. I will report back on Weekly Reads. Book you're currently reading, Inventing the Renaissance by Ada Palmer, although I don't know for how much longer. So, Inventing the Renaissance looks at the mythology that has been built up around the Renaissance, as much as it is the actual history of the period. I'm currently on the part where it's the myth-making, and how the myth-making was made, why the myth-making was myth-made. And it's interesting, but it's also could have used a chainsaw. And I'm not really enjoying it. Last book you recommended to someone. A few weeks ago, I did Keep 5 Alive recommendation video that could have turned into a tag. I might also pull a hedgehog recommendation thing and do this as a thing where I make regular recommendation videos. Or not, I don't know. But the last of those was My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi, which is like Fairy Tale, a manga series. Its final English language volume is coming out. I think if it hasn't already come out, it should be either today or next week. Because I think My Hero Academia usually comes out towards the end of the month. Or that could be Twins or Exorcist. Regardless, the final volume of My Hero Academia is this month. And it's a superhero-inspired series that stars a young man named Izuku Midoriya, who is born without superpowers in a world in which 80% of the population does have a superpower called a quirk. Izuku admires superheroes and wants to be one, and one day an act of bravery on his part inspires the superhero All Might to take Izuku under his wing and train him and grant Izuku his superpower quirk called One for All, which can be passed on. And if a person with quirks themselves have it, they can add their quirk to the One for All quirk. And so Izuku goes to a superhero school and participates in an apocalyptic conflict between the heroes and villains. And it's a great story. I'm really loving it, and I'm both excited and dreading finishing it. Although I will be rereading the entire series next year, so that's something I'm really looking forward to. Newest book you've read by publication date. That would probably be Eden Zero, Volume 33 by Hiro Mishima. It is the final volume of Eden Zero, which is about a young man named Shiki who is the adopted son of an android named Ziggy, who acted as a demon king of a tourist planet populated by androids. One day, a young woman named Rebecca and her exceed companion Happy. The series is not related to Fairy Tail. Hiro Mishima has a tendency to reuse character designs and character names throughout his work. Come to the planet to film videos for her BCube channel when the androids seem to malfunction, and the three Shiki rescues them and they flee the planet and they become adventurers. Eventually, they find the Eden Zero, which is a starship that Ziggy built and intended to give to Shiki. And so, gradually, over the course of their adventures, the crew of the Eden Zero grows, and they go in search of Mother, a great cosmic goddess figure who is said to grant wishes. Eden Zero is a great series, and oh boy, that final volume was great. Oldest book you've read by publication date. That doesn't quite work, but I have read Gilgamesh, so I guess that would work. So plays or short stories. I think I have a preference for short stories, even though I haven't really read any lately that have completely worked for me. But also to a certain extent, I think with plays, the idea would be to go out and watch them. Although if you're not able to go out and watch them, then the only real option is to read them. So I think I'm still going to go with short stories. Buying or borrowing books? Buying books. I do not borrow books, and the only way I can actually get books in is to actually buy them, because I haven't gone to my local library in about 5 years. No, longer than 5 years, because I stopped going in the pandemic. Book you dislike that everyone else seems to love. I'm not going to go with a book, I'm going to go with an author. William Shakespeare. I have never, not even during the period where I was most interested and most enjoyed the classics and the canonical, did I really get on with Shakespeare. I just don't know why, but he's just never done anything for me. Bookmarks or dog ears? Bookmarks. I have a ton of bookmarks, so there is no question of me running out of them. A book you can always reread. That is I'm not entirely sure quite how to answer this question, because my tastes periodically change, and that could lead to me not actually enjoying books that I have loved for decades. Take, for example, Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. It's a murder mystery set in Egypt, during a river cruise of the Nile. I have at times really loved the novel, and at times I have not been able to finish it. Another book that comes to mind is The Swimming Pool Library by Alan Hollinghurst, which every other time I read the damn book, I either manage to finish it or I don't. So that's kind of hard. There's no real can I like reliably read a book and it be successful. Right now, I'm thinking probably the only books I have that really fit that criteria where I can successfully reread a book, or in this case, it would be a series, and that's probably manga because I am very much in a manga period right now. So that would be my answer. Would probably be I think Fairy Tale, um, Naruto. I'm hoping will work out, but we shall see. Can you read while hearing music? Yes, I most certainly can. One POV or multiple POVs? Depends on whether the story can balance multiple points of view. Um, Sometimes I think one point of view really works. Sometimes multiple points of view can really work. Sometimes it doesn't quite make sense. It depends. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? Depending on the kind of book. For volumes of manga, I can read in one sitting. Even ones that take me a little bit more time, like One Piece by Eiichiro Oda or Dr. Stone by Inagaki. I'm blinking on his first. Riichiro? No. Anyway. So those I could read in one sitting. I can also read slim volumes of poetry in one sitting. But for novels and most novels and works of history, it usually takes me multiple days to read. And finally, tag people. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. Anyway, BookTube, thank you. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.